Hello and welcome to Century of the Year Drama episode, where we are determining the best drama, the ultimate drama, the most superior drama television show of 2023. But I can't do this alone. I would be very biased, and even though I like controlling situations, I have been told by many people that it's not great when I try to make decisions entirely on my own. So I have some very good friends here to help me determine just what show deserves the title of Best 2023 Drama. First, we have my very good friend, panelist Greg. Greg, say hi.
I am here. Hello. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to pick 2023's best drama.
So, Greg, you host what some might call the antagonist to this show, Comedy
Oh, is that
of the
true?
Year. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the comedy show. I see, yeah.
Yeah, you host comedy. And this year you made a really bold claim. You said that comedy surpassed drama when it came to making shows that achieved like the level of art.
Yes.
After, watching some of these dramas, after seeing the art that was produced, are there any that have made you second guess this claim?
Oh, okay. Are there any that made me second? Yeah, like I think that there are a couple on this list that made me second. But honestly, there's more like 5 that I'm just like, nah, I feel really good about that. Like, half of these
reinforce the claim.
Yes, yeah, half of these are really, really good shows, and half of these are really good TV shows that make me feel like they're playing Thursday night at 10 p.m. after a slate of comedies or something.
So the standard we would have had back in 2004, these would be fine for, but now we...
Yeah, these are all must-see TV, but I thought in the comedy, I thought we had some like staggering artistic works, and some of the dramas are that as well, but some of the dramas are just like something has to be on while I'm folding this laundry.
That's fair. We'll see if everyone agrees as we get into the nitty-gritty of our voting and eliminating. Next, we have panelist Mike.
Hello.
Mike, the majority... Oh, I didn't even let you say hi. I'm just cutting you off.
That's fine. Hello, McKenna. Thank you for letting me introduce you, the host of this show. Your name is McKenna, a.k.a. Books. I just,
People
in case
should
the
just
listeners
know
wanted to
at
know
this
who
point.
you were.
I want it to come off as that, like, just ambient narrator
Yeah.
that you never fully identify. You've kind of ruined it,
I'm sorry.
but I'll let that go. Mike, the majority of our top dramas this year are first seasons. Do you think that says anything about the state of 2023 or the state of drama?
We tend to get excited about, and the royal we, meaning all of critics everywhere, where we kind of compile our lists from, get excited about new stuff. And so I think that leans into it. But yeah, a lot of big dogs are dead, and the biggest dog we're going to talk about tonight. But yeah, there's not we're not a Yellowstone family, so we're never going to talk about any of the Yellowstone properties on this show. So other than Yellowstone, I think we're talking about the one long-lasting drama. So it makes sense that there's a lot of first seasons on here.
A lot of first seasons. Yeah. Going off of that, Ryan, you are also here. You're a panelist. Would you like to say hi?
Hi.
Are we at like the peak end of peak TV with the state of drama?
Oh, this is it, guys. This is it. Like, this is the worst bracket we've ever had in the history of doing the brackets, I would say.
Yes. Yeah.
There is so much mediocrity injected into this that it's like eating a Twinkie in all the worst ways and none of the best. I don't
hanging out with 4 Salieris.
It's like McKenna looking at the panelists she has on this podcast tonight. It's this bracket was bullshit. And like I genuinely liked all of these shows, but I'm so used to brackets having at the end of the year life-changing events, whether it's albums or movies or TV shows. This was like I don't know, Price is Right, fucking soap opera, maybe like an OC knockoff. Like what was that one from the book? The OC book that kept getting mentioned?
Not One Tree Hill.
Skins?
Skins, yeah.
This is just a fucking bunch of skins. Like, what am I at TGIF and I ordered a plate of skins? I cannot believe how, like, unmotivated I was to even do this show.
And that's why
As
he's
the host,
out.
I should not. Yeah, he's. I should not appreciate that comment. But
No, and I wrote in my notes, calm down on your intro because McKenna will take it personally. I literally wrote that down, and that was me calm. Because
I think, like, the only saving grace is it still makes a very interesting show to talk about crap dramas. for podcasting at least, that it does to talk about top. I just don't feel like my life was changed by drama this year. As years passed, like I felt myself grow as a person by television.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I want to watch movies so bad, guys.
All right. We have one more panelist here. She has patiently been waiting as we all talked about just drama and drama and drama. Cassie, hello. Would you like to say hi?
Hi. I'm excited to be here for drama. I think everybody knows this about me. I love drama shows. They're my favorite. I give the best insight for them.
Mm-hmm.
I love being sad. And that being said, this bracket, what Ryan was shitting on, it wasn't that sad, so I had an okay time because this mid-ass bracket.
Is that it? Is it just like I need to be sad?
Yeah, you just gotta feel deeper depression.
Sad equals quality.
Okay, thank you, doctor.
Gotcha. So we all enjoy drama because it just lets us dive into our depression a bit more. And Cassie, you're not about that kind of drama.
Never heard of her. Don't know that.
You actually inadvertently answered my question, which was gonna, considering you unfortunately weren't with us for the hee-hees, the top hee-hees, the comedies of the year. How excited were you to be here for the boo-hoos? But you've openly said that basically dramas are just long comedies this year.
Nothing. Comedy isn't the way that I don't think they're obviously not trying to be comedy, but it's laughable. The quality. Not to say this is a bad time.
That's harsher than I was.
Two of these shows are trying to be funny at times.
Two of these shows
I
are
was
for
going to
sure
say
trying.
there's definitely some comedy mixed in with drama. There's some dark humor that's very intentional, and there's one that I would say was just humorous. I wouldn't call it dark humor, but just humor in general. But those are our panelists. These esteemed minds will be determining which out of this murky pile of dramas is the top drama of 2023. But before we get into what shows we are voting on today, let's take a moment, just a brief moment, to run through some of the shows that did not make the cut. And that includes Doom Patrol, Dead Ringers, Jed and V, A Small Light, Loki, Heartstopper, Fargo, Foundation, Happy Valley, Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, and Fellow Travelers. Mike, are there any shows on that list that you would be more happy to see?
Are you remiss? Mike, are you remiss?
I hate to be remiss, and I say that list is bunk because Perry Mason isn't on it. Fuck that list. It's Perry Mason.
It's Perry Mason, the long forgotten. What's sad is Perry Mason didn't even make the second cut list.
No, I know, and I'm furious.
That is kind of surprising because both you and Ryan are big Perry Mason boys.
Yeah.
Would have
We're the
thought for sure there'd be
Freemasons,
some
as they call us.
manipulation.
And based on everything you said about the show, it is better than all but like three of the things that we're going to talk about
1000%.
tonight.
But there are dead babies and dark themes, so
Yeah.
it's hard for it to make a bracket.
Fargo to
I
me
would
is
say-
the one that I wished that we could be like talking about tonight. I thought Fargo, especially for like it's like kind of snapshot of the current political situation, I thought would be interesting.
Yeah, I think we have quite a few shows that do get into snapshots of what our politics and society is like.
For better or worse.
But I don't know if they quite capture the quality that Fargo does accomplish.
A lot of those shows too, Mac, that you mentioned, I was trying to think about what the drama is as opposed to the comedy, and I know that they're different masks above a theater stage, but also we talk about the comedy and we always say the he's and the haws, but like drama, and this is not good criticism, I understand that, but for me it means so much. Play. The episode's over. Please play more, and that's what I thought was sort of missing on the bracket as opposed to the shows that you mentioned off bracket.
I would absolutely agree.
And it's not about like harshness, like there are very dark, fucked up shows that I want another episode because I want to see what happens because I care about the characters because the just the tone of the show is so well done. But that's the thing that I was missing is like give me more.
Speaking to that, are there trends that we normally expect for a drama that are not here this year, Greg, or are there trends that we do see that we would not associate with drama?
I don't know. I don't feel like it was either a iconic or iconoclastic year. Like I didn't get that sense from any of these. Something about the fact that so many of these shows, it is their first season, makes me think that like it should be a fresh sheet of paper. But honestly, a lot of the shows for where it is their first season, they just don't feel like very original or super fresh. I mean, and I'm just like, not to be this guy, but like I'm just comparing it to like The Curse, which felt like it like changed television. There's like nothing doing that on this bracket, except for maybe like Succession, but like it's the 4th season of Succession. It's its goodbye season, and so that doesn't feel like it's adding anything fresh or new to the equation.
Yeah, it's continuing a legacy it already started. Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to dive into all of these fantastic shows we have lined up for us. I should probably share with you what shows we're going to be voting on, and that is Succession, Scavenger's Reign, The Last of Us, Blue Eye Samurai, Poker Face, Murder at the End of the World, The Fall of the House of Usher, and The Diplomats. When we come back, we'll start eliminating some of those shows. We are back, and we're ready to start on determining which drama was the best of 2023. Our first battle starts off strong with our number 1 seed, Succession, going up against our number 8 seed, Scavenger's Reign. In Succession's epic conclusion, we finally learn what becomes of the Roy siblings and cousin, and see if they will ever learn from their own selfishness, greed, and poor family relationships. Scavenger's Reign follows a crew space freighter as they are stranded on a dangerous planet and are forced to survive long enough to be rescued. Both stories are about surviving in hostile environments. Greg, which show do you think better handles how desperation and survival can warp our humanity?
Ooh,
Damn.
that's a great question, and bringing those two things into alignment in a great way. It's unfair, I think, in a way that these two are squared off against each other at this point. As to what is like the cost of our humanity to survive, that's kind of teed up to be Scavenger's Reign, and I think it is Scavenger's Reign, even though you could make the argument for Succession too. This planet that they're on, every time you encounter like a new life form, you're like, oh man, what creepy thing is this going to do? Is it going to like make a copy of me and then try to burrow into me and explode me? Is it going to turn me into a plant man? Is it going to give me a big rash that some fish are going to eat later? This whole planet, like as soon as they turn a corner, I'm just like, don't touch anything. Do not engage with anything on this planet.
It really sounds like you're describing both shows. Because like somebody comes in and they're like, oh, I just deliver the water. Fuck you, dude. You're trying to fuck me. You're trying to take my job. I'm going to get out of here.
Sent you here.
There's danger lurking in every aspect of both shows. The creativity of these like alien planet creatures is absolutely mind-blowing of Scavenger's Reign. Ryan, you're a big fan of Succession, I believe, if I remember past drama shows correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think season 4 holds up as well or even surpasses earlier seasons?
I think that it's really hard to talk about Succession because not only did it absolutely crush all awards and stuff, so like it does feel so chalk, but it's also like I'm from a podcast called Movie of the Year where we try to talk about what is like the most of that year, and I mean it's hard to get around how 2023 this show is, not just in its characters and what they're all about, but like I do believe that this is the end of peak TV. I feel like that everything after this is sort of like we've seen TV before and we'll try to act like it, but like that whole era that we're coming out of is ended by the Succession finale. Scavenger's Reign.
Succession is a show that like people look at real life and then they're like, I'm going to make a show about that. There's so many shows on our list tonight that are like, I've seen a lot of TV, and so I made a show that's like a TV show.
But
and is so limiting.
I kind of appreciate that because like there's so many bad shows that try to be Succession. There's so many people who try to make prestige TV and fell on their face for the last 15 years. Most of our bracket is not trying to be prestige TV. Like
that's
we said
true.
in the intro, it is 90s ass Law and Order TV, and sometimes to great success, sometimes to bad.
Sometimes 70s or 80s.
Prestige. Yes,
I do think that
I appreciate that.
In a year or a year and a half, it's going to be all Game of Thrones and Succession mock-ups.
Mock-ups.
But for right now, like this is what we had and it was brilliant.
I think there's an argument to be made that TV that tries to imitate TV, like I've seen a TV stuff, it also still has an element of imitating life and culture, because we are so about consumption of TV now. So like, what else are you going to turn to to reflect? There is that
I like
argument.
that. Yeah.
We're just now, if you take that, like, you are what you eat. TV has become that. Cassie, I know Succession has not always been your favorite type of show, but Scavenger's Reign is one of our 2 animated shows, but it still has some kind of horrorish or horrifying elements. Which of these shows had a little bit easier of, I guess, breathability for you as a viewer who does not typically engage in drama?
Yeah, weirdly enough, Succession had more breathing room for me, because it was just like, here's a shitty family being shitty, like, and like Succession, it had moments where I'd be like, I get why people like this. This is fun. It's witty. These characters are cool. And then it would drag ass for 10 more minutes doing nothing, and I'd be like, fuck, this could be a 30-minute thing, and bang, but I have to sit here for an hour and have it stretched out. Where Scavenger's Reign, each moment was like devastating. There's these creepy ass characters. I kept waiting for a cute one. No cute ones, guys. Everything fucking deadly there. This is like
not even
drama.
Levi the robot.
Oh, you're right, Levi. But like Levi was a brought on creature type thing.
Oh,
like
I
that
see,
became
yeah.
one.
There
But,
was
like,
one that I thought was going to be, it was like this little guy in a hood towards the end of the show, and then he turned around and had button Coraline eyes, and no, I'm fucking out. You're disgusting.
I'm not gonna mess with this one. You know it's bad.
Listening to
was-
Cassie talk about these 2 shows is like if you found those glasses from They Live, and like life is Succession, but then when you put the glasses on, it's Scavenger's Reign. Like that is just our normal Earth.
Oh, well, I appreciate that you were brave enough to engage with both of these shows. I appreciate your perspective coming here.
Thank you for saying I'm brave. I feel better now being here, and I'd say you're the best host ever. Thank you so much.
Just rain flowered with compliments. Mike, I don't have a specific question for you, but you haven't chatted much, so I'm going to call to you.
My problem with Scavenger's Reign is, and I loved it. It was great. I feel like we haven't seen like hard sci-fi in a while. Literally, the planet's designed to kill them. That's super fun. But every once in a while, they're like, well, we learned these ones help us breathe. Fucking how? When everything else is designed to kill you. How is this a working ecosystem? Fuck you. This planet doesn't make sense.
There's a time jump in between when they crash and when the show... And I'm wondering, Mike, if there's going to be something where they explain why... Cause these people have a preternatural instinct as to how they can use the wildlife as either like a mask
printed up
or,
manuals.
Yeah, and I'm thinking there's like a weird Lost style situation thing going on here. Like I think there might be an explanation for it eventually.
That'd be and most of the time I could not care about it and just enjoy the weird art and the grossness of it, because it is gross in a way that like it reminded me of Mad God, that stop motion animation movie.
Oh shit! Remember that movie?
There's some gross everything's
God.
eating everything. And that was super cool. But yeah, when I started to think about it, I'd get mad. And yeah, I don't want a season, but maybe an episode where each group was more people dying to figure out which fish would let them breathe if they put it right
like
on their
that
mouth.
works as a gas mask.
See,
Yeah.
I think what you
Instead
guys
of
are
keeping
asking,
like some secret plot that might be revealed on a 2nd or 3rd season.
I think what you guys are asking for is The Martian with Matt Damon, and instead, what I got from the show is just like we have too many ideas. We have so many cool. We have so many drawings on cocktail napkins of crazy aliens. Let's put them all in, and that it became overwhelming, which then sort of led to underwhelming for me. Like
For season 1 especially, because I feel like there was a level of just bombarding us with quite a bit of content.
It reminded me of, in the good ways and I guess bad ways, of Toonami. Like, if you stayed on Cartoon Network too late, it'd just be like weird shit.
Yeah, it definitely had that vibe.
And I don't want to talk down to it, and as somebody who doesn't smoke weed, but it does feel designed to be like, get a little inebriated and just tune out and watch this crazy shit more than trying to tell a cohesive thing.
But it has so much good potential, so it's a shame that it let itself fall into that.
And I thought that, like, I got to know the characters, and they were definitely not two-dimensional. It's just that there were so many points where I was missing the characters. And again, this is very biased. This is sort of what I'm into for TV. But, like, I wanted to see more about what happened to Kamen and the Levi creators' relationship.
Fiona.
Fiona pre-crash, then I wanted to see like, oh my god, this flower has teeth. Whoa.
I felt like it started to cohere into more of a narrative towards the end of it. I thought it took a long time to do that and felt like maybe it wouldn't. But I did feel like it all started to kind of like come together. And I wonder if future seasons are going to be like a lot more structured than this one was. Yeah. I almost got the sense that this whole opening season is just setting up sort of like the beginning of the story of this place. Like, especially because it's called Scavenger's Reign, and it takes a long time before you even see any scavengers. So, like,
I thought of all the astronauts as scavengers.
Wait, the people are the Walking Dead?
Scavengers.
I think it's the second. Well, I think it's the second group of people that come to the planet that are really the scavengers.
That's why they come, right? Because they're yeah.
And so that's when I think that that's why I think that it's an extremely slow burn. And that it takes a while for the actual story to get underway.
The short-haired blonde lady that comes later with the little boy, who's like, "Oh, we're gonna take your ship. We don't give a fuck about people." That was the point where like I wanted to watch the 6 characters that I already met, and now we have a Walking Dead character here.
Yeah.
Like, ha ha ha.
One note, just ringing that note as loud as she can.
You punch me and I laugh. Oh, I left you for dead to teach you a lesson. Ha 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 ha. And then can we talk about the fucking beetle? Because like it really does feel like the whole planet is just living on instinct. But this beetle is a bully. Like the big fucking fat guy. Like that guy
the one who
sucked.
starts off as a baby? Who's like, it's Daddy Beetle punishes it, and he's like, well, then I'm going to torture this human.
Which I know is the plot of Lion
King,
but and then he becomes a baby at the end too. But like this guy was like, he had a frown and mean eyes, and he was like, I don't like when people ruin my reputation, and I'm gonna go fuck shit up.
I want a plushie of that thing. Who, if you look online, I don't think they ever say it. Its name is Hollow, which is a creepy name.
Hollow.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
especially since he
terrifying.
climbs all up inside it. Like,
Yep. That was not a pleasant scene.
it's like an anti-Miyazaki character. Like, it's got a lot of personality, but all the personality is really bad.
And it starts with
awful.
an upside down smile. Like his face says it all. That he's frowning so much that he's going to burp black bubbles into your fucking mouth.
Those probably taste delicious, though, right? We all
for sure.
Absolutely. Anything that awful has to have one benefit. All right. I think we've talked quite a bit about what we think of these 2 shows. I think it's time for us to go maybe to a vote. I don't want to call it as a clear sweep, but I do see some leaning in particular ways. Ryan, which show do you think deserves to move on?
Mac, if you said, all right, come up with a worst moment of all of these shows that we're talking about, I don't know what I would say for Succession. Like, it batted 1,000 this entire season. We didn't talk about the patriarch of the family dying in the 4th episode. And then now we just get to watch these kids melt down. We get to watch them dealing with the death, which was crazy to watch them. But then also on the flip side, we get to watch them in that kitchen later on towards the end of the season.
Have finally a bonding moment. They don't learn anything from it, but we get to see them.
No, but like you can see in their eyes, like they're all pretending to think that like this is the way it will be again forever. But also in their eyes, someone's going to stab me, so I'm going to watch out.
Calculating how to...
Yeah, this is it, dude. Like I'm ready to put this show up there with Sopranos, Wire, and Better Call Saul. So it's Succession for me, dog.
High praise right there. Anything that goes up with Better Call Saul, I feel like is pretty much
what an incredible show, right?
In your eyes, I wouldn't say in everybody's eyes, but in your eyes. All right, Greg, where are you leaning? I believe. Nope, I don't think you put Scavenger's Reign on the bracket. Did you initially?
It just seems like he would.
Yeah, I think it got taken off, and then I swapped it back in.
Nice.
I had a feeling. So your pick. Again,
and I think I liked this show the most of anybody, but up against Succession, just too much. There's a moment in the very last episode of Succession where Kendall Roy just yells out, "I'm the eldest boy." And I can't, like, the whole show is building towards this guy just suddenly shouting, "I'm the eldest boy." And, like, it just delivered in so many ways.
48-year-old
yes,
man.
I'm
You
the
know it's
eldest
his
boy.
mantra. every day. That's how he, just
Mantra.
pep talk in the mirror. That's what he says.
There's this
Yeah.
app that like will cut books down to like 15 minutes for you, so you can
Oh,
like say that
Jesus.
you read the book. If there was a thing that like cut shows down into 12 seconds,
Yeah.
it's just you turn it on. It's like I'm the eldest boy.
Him saying I'm the eldest boy may have taken the throne away from the other thing that most aptly defines the show, which is the guy singing the lyrics to the song, which is "Who will get a kiss from Daddy." up until I'm the eldest boy, "Who will get a kiss from Daddy" was the best encapsulation of the show.
All you need to know about it. All right, that is 2 votes for Succession. Cassie, where are you lining up your votes?
My heart, just because I want everyone to scream at me, is to say Scavenger's Reign, but it's that we all know that's just to get some screams. So it is Succession in this.
I appreciate that. You're always trying to bring the drama. Just always trying
Drama.
to heighten the
Drama.
drama of our show. All right, Mike, your vote does not change much, but I'd still like you to share. What are you voting for?
I do want to say I really enjoyed Scavenger's Reign. I know the only thing I said was negative about it, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Super up my butt. Great TV. It's Succession, clearly. Come on. I'm going to say it now, and then I won't say it again. Is there a reason why we're doing an actual bracket? It's Succession.
Shut the fuck up. Hey, producer Mike, do you not know the point
wait.
of
Sorry, I've been past
podcasting?
Mike. I'm going to turn producer Mike on. Mike, you shut the fuck up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you want to die?
Scavenger's Reign was in the intro I was referencing like the hardest to say. Next episode, please. Like
Yeah.
I wanted
Yes.
no more of it.
Yes.
I was fine to walk away and not
And easily
revisit.
the second best animated show on our bracket.
Easily.
Yeah, I would say because we did not have Scott Pilgrim on our bracket, and we did not have Spider-Man the animated series from the mid '90s on the bracket. So I would say yes for sure.
Well, Succession will move forward in our brackets, and we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll enter our next battle. In our second bracket of the first battle, we have our number 2 seed, The Last of Us, going up against our number 13 seed, Blue Eye Samurai. In The Last of Us, a deadly fungus has destroyed most of the world, and a man is tasked to help a 14-year-old girl who may hold the key to humanity's survival safely reach a destination. In the animated period drama Blue Eye Samurai, a warrior seeks revenge against those who made her an outcast while seeking her destiny. Both shows feature reluctant leads and intense journeys who guide another. Cassie, which duo's growth and relationship was more compelling to you?
Books, Blue Eye Samurai is fucking buck as hell. This shit is crazy. In case anybody wanted to dip their toes in anime world like me, I don't even know if this is typical anime. I've heard the community isn't claiming it. This shit
Why?
buck as
Shame
hell.
on them.
If you want to see cartoon titties and flaccid dicks, this is your shit. This is your jam. They throw it in any chance they get. The story, everything insane about this. I don't even know how to process this. This I couldn't believe existed.
Mac, how did you know that Cassie was ready to explode unless you
didn't.
asked her a question?
I honestly shouldn't even posed a question. I should have just like, Cassie, Blue Eye Samurai, talk.
Guys, I watched one episode and I was like, okay, they're throwing a lot at me. Let's ground yourself. Let's do something. I went to Reddit to ground myself as a sane
that
person
Sure.
does. And
Yeah.
Reddit was like, listen, episode 5 is a masterpiece. Get to episode 5. Fucking waste of my life, you guys. Goddamn, so many titties just to get to like an okay story. Like episode 5 was the best,
What?
but not great. Not great. All in all.
105 was my favorite episode.
You were shocking me here. All that built up to, I thought this was going to be your
I
favorite show
thought this
ever.
was, yeah.
I thought this was your next Bat Wheels.
Here's the thing: is Cassie describes the best thing in the world as Buck Wild, and the worst thing in the world is Buck
It's,
Wild.
Yeah.
it's in the inflection of Buck Wild that you have to really pick in on if it's my favorite thing.
I will respectfully, yes, there are flaccid animated dicks and titties, but what a beautiful in a blender of all the samurai stories we've had before in one of the most unique, cool, new art like animation styles I've ever seen. This show
I did some
fucking
research
ruled.
on this to like what is this based on? Where did it come from? Where did it go? Where did it come from?
Cotton Eye Joe.
Cotton Eye Joe. But like, where did like in like are we in a Crouching Tiger situation where like people have been loving this for years, but now we just get this one. And I didn't really find anything that it's based on, or I don't know where it came from. Like, it was these two creators who were like, I think the world is ready for this. And it sort of swept through Netflix. And I can't, like, it's so hard for me looking back at 2023 to find things more, like, beautifully shot.
Yes.
And choreographed. And I mean choreographed in all of the ways you could mean that. From, like, fight scenes to just where the camera is, to old school storytelling. There are probably, like Cassie was referencing, maybe from her Reddit friends, if that's a thing, that there are probably other shows that have done this forever that did this better. But like for me, who, you know, is I guess new to the genre, this blew me the fuck away, including episode 105, where we get some puppets that tell a story. Sorry, Cassie.
The best thing I can say about this show is that my wife does not generally like animated shows, and so I was just going to watch it on my own. And then she like sort of just kept lingering by the TV until finally I was like, do you want me to like save this for you? And she was like, yes. And then we watched every single episode together. I thought it was going to be the kind of thing where it was like, I had to be like, you know, you said you wanted to watch this together, and I really wanted to keep watching it. Instead, we just watched it all the way through.
Or you turn it on and like she's on her phone, but I had the exact same experience. I was like an episode in, and my wife said, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I pitched this to you." I said, "Samurai anime," but no. And then like the entire time she was bawling, I cannot believe the roller coaster that this took us on.
It's beautiful. It's
This is
emotional,
drama.
and the fight scenes are the coolest fight scenes that I've seen in an animated show.
Yes. They really use the hey, we're animated, what can we do?
Yes.
The scene where the four fangs and the Blue Eye Samurai are fighting up and down the cliffside.
Yes.
Fuck. It's so cool.
They use the fact that it's animated to make really, really clever scenes, but I don't think they relied on it in a way, because they relied on more of it being like artistry instead of we can just make the impossible happen without needing CGI or, you know, crazy stunts.
But ultimately, isn't this like Blue Eye Mary Sue?
Boo.
The samurai. What?
Shut up, Cassie's Reddit friends.
Oh, sorry, guys. Cassie's Reddit friends took my mic real quick. I apologize for that.
Hate when they do that.
I think that was her 4chan for him.
It was certainly the biggest show of November. My question, though, was, like, was it the biggest show of 2023? Because isn't it kind of... It feels like it's going up against the story that was... Or the show that was, like, the conversation leader for the entire year.
I think for three reasons. One, because it's well-written and well-acted. But it's the only... good video game adaptation in history. Literally the only one. There's never been a good one.
What about the show Twisted Metal, Mike?
What about Mortal Kombat Annihilation, Mike?
I did enjoy Twisted Metal. And it's also, I lost my thing. Oh, nope, I lost it. Video game adaptation. That's where we're ending.
Do you guys think that like this puts a button on the whole zombie era?
That's
that
what
we
it was.
have-
Thank you. Yes, it showed Walking Dead's an idiot. You could have done it good the whole time.
But was this good? Because Mike, I do feel like that we spent a lot of 2023 with you being like, I'm not ready to talk about it yet, but it was fine. It was fine. People are freaking out too much. It was fine.
Oh, I still believe that. It was fine. I liked it. There was that episode everybody talked about, episode 4 with Nick Offerman. You're right. That was the best episode. Mm-hmm. It was good. It was a good show.
I think you can argue it's a great show. The acting, the writing, there's great elements. I wouldn't say it's like a life-changing show. I think people get really, really stuck on that, but I think it's doing so much that the genre of this show never achieves, that people are like putting it so much higher than it deserves to be, because it's elevated beyond what anything else of this similar, who it appeals to, the post-apocalyptic type world show appeals to. This is just going above and beyond. Cassie, I have to ask, you had some strong feelings about Blue Eye Samurai.
Yeah.
How do you feel about The Last of Us?
Loved it. This was one of the shows where I feel like it's so rare to have a show where people are waiting for the day it comes out, and then the next day you go hang out with like people, and that's what you're talking about. And that's like what this did. Succession had that as well. It was like Succession and The Last of Us, where you could turn on a podcast and people would be like, it wouldn't even be about TV, and they'd be talking about this week's episode just to like catch up. It was such a huge cultural thing. And this was like they put this out in a time when we were done with zombies because The Walking Dead had murdered it. You could not get people excited about it, but the only way was to do a remake of this video game that people loved. And they also did it so beautifully, and the actors were fucking amazing. It was shot beautifully. It's such a good show. And Blue Eyed Samurai is just like mid at best. Sorry, guys.
You're mid at best.
Wow.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah,
You didn't even need to add that part.
Dang.
Your volcanic eruption was sarcastic? I'm now finding out.
Because normally
Ryan-
I find us agreeing on a lot of shows, but I can't even call Blue Eye Samurai. The art alone prevents it from ever being
That art's
mid.
everywhere. That art's everywhere, guys. It's just not in this bracket.
Ryan, you played
shit.
you played the Last of Us games. Does that do you take anything away from that in regards to the show? Like, how'd the show do in capturing the vibe of the game?
You know what's funny, Greg, is that I thought the show was fine. You know, like the bottom of the barrel as far as what I expect from HBO Sunday night, which is like that's a term.
Oh
right?
yeah,
Like, I need a lot from HBO
You're
Sunday
talking
night, and I thought it was
Succession
right. Shows
The
like
Wire.
Succession,
Sopranos.
the righteous
Um,
gemstones.
and then I played
Heartless.
Last of Us after I watched it, and every single incredible, like heartbreaking goosebump moment of the show was literally from the video game, and they filmed it exactly the same way. And I don't know if I'm supposed to disregard that, but
That's weird,
they
right?
stole it
It's
all. They stole it
wild.
all. One of my favorite moments of the show was Bella. What's her name?
Bella, yeah.
Bella Thorne?
Bella
That's
in
something
the back, and Pedro in the front, and she stole a gay porno mag from episode 103's house, and that he oh, I don't want you to have that. That's, you can't look at those wieners, and he throws it out of the truck, and it hits like a stop sign. Literally frame by every single the moment with the giraffes where they find the
Yeah.
giraffes, it's all there. So everyone is trying to say well, how should we make Super Mario Brothers a movie? Because that seems difficult. This video game did not make it difficult for you guys. It was just there for you. It did. I don't know if it's fair, but it did take away from it. Oh, and Greg, also, there's no Blue Eye Samurai video game. That was just fucking on it the entire time.
And
Titties,
if there
flaccid
were-
wieners, whatever.
If there were, it should be by the company who brought us The Curse of Monkey Island.
I would love some. What's his name?
Guywood, Threepwood.
Guy. That's a lot of wood in that name, but yeah.
Climbing decades back.
All right. I think we have shared quite some thoughts, maybe controversial thoughts, strong opinions on these two shows. But I think it's time for us to call to a vote. Ryan, you were the last to speak. I'm going to have you vote first. Truly, because I don't know which way you're going to go with this also.
After watching, I was never a zombie guy, and then this influx in I would say the 2000 through 2010, I don't know, it just got old, and I thought that this would be more revolutionary, and it was good, and I love the actress in the show, and Pedro Pascal will make a great Mr. Fantastic,
Hell
but
yeah, he will. Shut up, internet.
Blue Eye Samurai was a revelation. Blue Eye Samurai was could this take the whole thing down? I have to go with Blue Eye Samurai.
Wow. Strong praise. Mike, what are your thoughts?
I was a zombie guy. I wanted to be a zombie. I was fucking obsessed from that whole period to the point when zombies started showing up on TV. I was like, I've been into zombies forever. And then the quality that got put out made me not into them at all. And I enjoyed this. I was like, oh, cool, plant fungus zombies. This is fun. Good acting. It's a good show. It's fine. I do not get the hullabaloo. I watched Blue Eye Samurai pilot twice in one day.
Wow.
I fucking
Wow.
loved this show, and I could watch it on mute. I could watch it 1,000 times volume, whatever the opposite of mute is. I think it offers every sense, other than taste, I guess, something to enjoy. It is a truly magical show. And Cassie's mid at best. My vote is for Blue Eye Samurai.
That is 2 for Blue Eye Samurai. Cassie, I think we all know where you're going to go, but I still need to give you an opportunity to share your vote.
Yeah, everyone is insane. Y'all wildin'. It's The Last of Us.
All right, Greg, we have 1 vote for The Last of Us, 2 for Blue Eye Samurai. You are going to either determine this or cause me to be a tiebreaker.
Well, I'm gonna go with Blue Eye Samurai because I think that is. I think there's the most exciting new show of the year, and I was so happy the whole time I was watching it because I was like, "We're gonna get to talk about cartoons at the end of the year. This is so cool."
And drama, which is not normally where we find them.
And it's full of samurais.
It's the most badass fighting samurais too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you know what's wild? One of our favorite TV comedies from a couple years ago, Pen 15. Maya Erskine from Pen 15 is the voice of the Blue Eye Samurai. Fucking crazy.
I had to
Crazy
look it
year
up
for Maya.
because I heard it and there was a familiar edge, and then I looked it up and I was like, no. And then I was worried I wouldn't be able to separate the two, but then I got sucked back into Blue Eye Samurai and completely forgot again. So thank you for that reminder. That is it. Moving forward to our next bracket is Blue Eye Samurai, our number 13 seed, and being knocked out very early as our number 2 seed, The Last of Us. We're going to say goodbye to that as we take a quick break, but when we return, we have our next bracket, our number 3 seed against our number 10. In our penultimate battle of bracket 1, we have our number 3 seed Poker Face going up against our number 10 seed Murder at the End of the World. In Poker Face, we see a casino worker on the run. She can always tell when someone is lying or if they're telling the truth, and as she travels around, she solves murders with anyone she interacts with in the city she makes stops in. Murder at the End of the World is a spin on the classic whodunit. Darby and others are invited to a reclusive billionaire's retreat at a remote location. When a guest is found murdered, Darby must find the killer before they strike again. There is no shortage of solving murder and drama as a genre. However, one of these shows uses comedy and drama to navigate the murders, while the other relies on thrill and suspense. Mike, which subgenre serves the show better as a drama overall?
Hey, sometimes you just gotta go town to town and you just cast a really charismatic star to do it. And sometimes
Ladies and gentlemen, the Thing from the Fantastic Four is here.
Oh, Blue Eyes, get off of Yancey Street.
Is it clobbering time?
It might be clobbering time. Both of these shows remix and fuck with, as you said, TV murder. One to a clear homage to like Columbo, and it's crazy that The Thing, harkening back to 40 years ago, is so much more refreshing and new feeling than fucking Murder at the End of the World.
Oof.
Man, especially that first episode, one of the worst first episodes I've ever seen in a TV show. And I was like, well, I'll keep going. And then I do, because I'm a murder junkie, I'll keep pressing play while going, I hate this. None of this is quality. This is stupid as hell. How did this show make it on the bracket, A Murder at the End of the World? How did it?
Mike, do you do this with books too?
Read bad books?
Yeah, like, well, you just like, well, I've started it. I hate it, but like, I'm just going to keep turning the fucking pages.
Yeah, I kind of do. I bail on books quicker, though. I'm done. I'm like halfway through Murder at the End of the World. I don't give a shit. I can't believe Clive Owen, Her Majesty's Clive Owen, lent himself to this.
This show... Oh, please tell Cassie your thoughts.
Sorry, I got sucked in out of just like, I gotta know what all happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took a breather for a second and didn't let it autoplay, and I was freed. I was like, oh, I don't care. Oh, good. Okay.
That autoplay is the only reason this is getting streams.
I watched the whole thing, and I guarantee if off air I will tell you who done it, and you'll be like, I'm glad I didn't
I
watch
bet it was the
that.
fucking cat robots out in the wilderness.
I watched the whole thing too, and yeah, it just made me angry. Having
what
wasted
Was it
time.
the character introduced in the third episode, Jeff Whodunit? Was it him?
Yeah, Jeff Whodunit. Yeah.
It's either him or his cousin Bob Red Herring. It's so weird to take the Knives Out. Like, that's definitely like, there's been a bunch of like big ensemble cast. We can fuck with it, and then be like, what if there's no charm? And especially, what if our detective was negatively charismatic?
The other thing too is that like, I think that adaptation is such like a cool art. You know, like if you take a novel to make a movie, like that's so hard and impressive to me. But this was so clearly like, oh, we read the book. Here's all the parts of the book, and then it's like flashback to when she was this age, flashback to when, or like, you know, like I don't know what was cut. I didn't read the book, but like, did you do any work show?
It was a middle school
like,
book report slammed
Yes,
into a movie.
And of just like the biggest like old people thinking Gen Zers would like this shit. Like, oh, he's a street artist like Banksy, and he solves crimes on the internet. Fuck you.
And he's handsome.
And he's
where I don't think
hot.
Banksy is. Did you guys see Triangle of Sadness?
I did.
No.
Remember that movie from last year? He was that guy, and he was much hotter on that movie.
Less mulleted.
This
Yeah.
So this was a
Less
downgrade.
mulleted.
This was definitely one of the shows I was thinking of when I was just like, oh man, this just comes from the big book of TV show tropes. Like it's set in like the Arctic, but unfortunately that's very like expensive, and so it all looks very cheap. And it's like, oh, here we are outside. It's like, no, you are clearly on a
Green
soundstage
screen.
that they just put like white flurries behind
And
you.
if you were outside, you wouldn't have said, "Oh, here we are outside." Like you're telling on yourself.
If everybody keeps talking about like it's so dangerous, it's like -80, so we have to wear these space winter suits. No scarves on your mouth, faces out.
No scarf.
Faces are
out.
notoriously so much tougher than the rest of
The other thing it reminded me of was, and we have to with all things in the present, talk about how it is copying Alex Garland. It just reminded me of devs, like with this, like loose, like, oh, if they're genius, they can do whatever they want,
Yeah.
and like Emma Corrin is supposed to be this person, like this face of the future. I don't know, guys. I'm gonna sell my stock on Emma Corrin.
I have to give a shout out though. As soon as I heard the voice of like the AI assistant Ray, I knew for my audiobook junkies out there, I knew it was my boy Eduardo Ballerini. Eduardo Ballerini is the best in the audio narration game right now, and it's a
That's
shame.
his real name?
Eduardo Ballerini. Yeah, dude.
That's not a name that you just made up.
No, that's a real dude. And when your book is being read to you by Eduardo Ballerini, dude, like strap in because you're about to go somewhere and you're about to learn some things.
I only got 2 epis into this, but I loved how the detective was like, "Hey, Alex," which is one less letter than Alexa. I don't remember what his name is. It was like, "Hey, could you solve this case for me real quick?" And then he would just do it.
That's a good part. Cassie, I like to turn to you for drama simply for, I think you're the perspective of the people who don't always enjoy drama.
Voice
Murder
of
at the End of the
people.
World. You're representing just the average population who does not normally engage with the super depressing. I
Yeah.
wouldn't consider Murder at the End of the World depressing, but I also did
No.
not consider it engaging. Where is it? Can you identify what this show
I
is
absolutely
doing?
can. This is for the wine moms who are stuck at home and have ran out of murder podcast and need something else to zone out to while they down rosé. This is your jam to throw on the background. It's got just enough little intriguing where you can come back every 40 minutes and see what's happening and be like, all right, cool. And then you go about your day. It's perfect for the wine moms. It's just kind of a check-in background noise. Don't give a shit about it.
I think it also works for the weed moms, I have to say.
Yeah.
The Weed Moms are
And
the
the Oxy
2023
Moms.
And
Wine
the
Moms of
Oxy
2013.
My flirty moms.
All the moms. Yeah. I think you've captured it. What we have not talked about enough is Poker Face. I have this habit of like Natasha Lyonne stars in something and I'm like, maybe not for me. And then I doubt it. I don't know why I'm a dumbass like this because
Yeah.
every single time I don't know what it is. I think I convince myself I'm not going to engage with that or love it. I did it with Russian Doll. I did it with Poker Face. I pushed
Is it her
off.
masculine energy?
No,
Is it
that
her
should
curly
absolutely
hair?
appeal to me. Her hair is chaotic. I love that. I'm a self-saboteur.
Is it that she does sound like Humphrey Bogart, even though she is of age of all of us?
That could be it. But then I end up
I-
falling in love with her voice.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that Poker Face is potentially like a 2.5 or maybe 3-star show. And then with her, it is a all-timer. Like, I think that what she brings to it, and like, I'm not saying that she's improvising. I'm not going to do anything like that. But like, her energy, like, this is what stars are. And we don't have that many stars anymore. And for her to be on it, like, this is what, like, the board argued, should this be a comedy, just because of her energy and how she is always sort of on like that. I think that she was amazing. I thought that there were like dips.
Yeah.
Some episodes were like lesser than others, but that's what you get like with an
with
anthology.
a heavily episodic show.
Yeah, borderline anthology series. But like, and I don't think it ever. It didn't. It always cooked less than those first 2 episodes where she was like on the run and like we got this movie. But if she's in a situation, I want to watch it. Like I just want to watch it, and that's not what I get from Jennifer Murder at the End of the World.
You definitely
agree.
need somebody like Natasha Lyonne to have, like, when you are just like she's going town to town and being a part of like a murder every week, and like there's always people who like instantly fall in love with her, like take her on a crew. Like you got to have somebody like that to make it even believable.
Oh, you want to be a part of my barbecue restaurant?
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Go for
Natasha
it.
Lyonne.
Yes, Lil Rel Howery, I do.
Guys, that episode where the dog was only wanted to listen to racist MAGA radio, so fucking funny. This show is
That
delightful.
dog reminded me of my parents.
Only
Cavalcade
calmed
of
by-
stars. Cavalcade guest stars on the show, too.
Yeah.
It was always
Mhm.
exciting to see who was going to be there.
Did you guys make it to not Jonathan Taylor Thomas, but Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
I did not.
No.
Shit Mountain, where she was basically just fucking abused in a cabin. Like, this was towards the end of the season, where like the story was supposed to come to an end. I thought it dipped a little bit in the middle, got a little bit boring. The stage one, where like she was trying to figure out which actor killed which actor, but it got incredible at the end.
It did peak at the end. I do have a question. This is season 1. Hopefully we'll get a few more seasons of the show. Does anyone think it harms the show in any way? And Natasha Lyonne is such a strong character, but will it harm the future of the show to just rely on her strength alone to carry every episode as she interacts with new people?
No, this is such an old school style of TV show that we
Yeah.
haven't had in 20 plus years. But this straight up is Murder, She Wrote and Columbo and X-Files. Like, it is, you need a star everybody wants to watch, and then you can just get Adrian Brody for one episode. You can get big names for an episode. So I think, and because it's Ryan Johnson, he's he knows a lot of people. I think he can
He's
get
gonna have
in
no.
good names throughout it. Yeah.
And Mac, I might think so if like we were back to 22 a year, but it's 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 10 a year. So like that helps so much. You know, like the old demands of 22 a year, everyone's going to get tired of you.
And I think just it also like the premise is really, really fresh. To watch like the first 15 minutes of every episode is almost like a little mini movie where you see exactly what happens in the crime, and you always get to appreciate the fact that like, man, this person really would have gotten away with it too, if not for Natasha
A human
Lyonne.
lie detector didn't
Yeah.
show up.
And I don't do that. Like, I don't make, like, I never think of that joke where it's like, well, should people stay away from Jessica Fletcher because there's always murders around her? You know, like, it's just, she just winds up in these situations and she solves them.
Yeah, I guess because she has this like infallible ability to tell when someone is lying or not. I guess like you've already admitted that, so then why not just be like, and then also there's always people dying everywhere she goes. It always seems to be someone kind of close to her too. It's not always she's like in town and hears that somebody got murdered on the other side of town. It's like, hey, you're my new friend. Oh no, you're dead.
You're dead.
It's also always a little bit, let's teach a lesson to the right about how the left is correct.
Yeah, let's try to help these people out and figure out what's going on.
Which I don't mind.
I think it's just subtle enough and engaging enough that it's doing it well. It's not over the top, pushing it, too far or doing it in an incorrect way. These two shows going up against each other, yeah, they're both whodunits, both murder shows, both solving crime. One clearly is superior in most of our opinions, but we need to break it down to an actual vote. Greg, where are you leaning?
Yeah, definitely Poker Face. I have to say, I do have to admit, like, I thought A Murder at the End of the World was kind of like good, bad TV. I was pulled along. I did watch it. The whole time I was like kind of hate watching it, but it was enough to like where I watched all the way to the end. But it's like in a completely different league than a show like Poker Face or the other like top tier shows in the bracket.
It did
What was
feel
the
like
Mormon show from last year?
Oh God, Under the
That-
Banner of Heaven.
Okay.
That was
a
that was
terrible
like
show.
one of the trashiest shows we've ever watched for this.
And I watched
I
every
loved that show.
goddamn
I
second of it.
loved that show, so that's a hard disagree for me. Murder at the End of the World did feel like the old horror movies I used to indulge in with like roommates in college. It had that
Yeah.
kind of vibe of like it's just bad. But Banner Under Heaven.
Under the
Under the Banner of Heaven, I thought was an actual gem. So we're not here to discuss that show, though. I won't defend it any further. Mike, what are you voting for?
It's Poker Face.
Yeah, dude, the
Gotta
only
be.
one that had a theme song years before it was even conceived of.
They just knew. Ryan, what's your vote?
I cannot wait for the winner of the 2027 TV drama bracket Paparazzi, because that's how Lady Gaga do.
That'd be a
Bullshit.
fucking bop.
It's Poker Face.
All right. Poker Face has 3. Cassie, what are you voting for?
Yeah, it's Poker Face.
It's Poker. That was a very easy sweep for us. So Poker Face will be moving on. I don't think many of us are sad to say goodbye to Murder at the End of the World. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to our final battle. In our final battle, we have our number 5 seed, The Fall of the House of Usher, going up against our number 15 seed, The Diplomat. Siblings Madeline and Roderick in The Fall of House of Usher have a massive fortune thanks to a questionable pharmaceutical family business. But as Roderick's children and heirs are killed off, the family's dark secrets are revealed. In The Diplomat, while facing an international crisis, Ambassador Kate Weiler lands a high-profile job that could collapse both her political future and romantic relationship. While selfishness and greed are often at the center of television drama, Ryan, where do you think we reflect humanity's tendencies for these qualities better, in business or in political shows?
Oh, God damn it. Mac, what a question. I think that it is in the relationships, number one.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I do think that what makes different or worse or better Bedfellows is a good question. I'm going to go with The Diplomat here, which I think relied on what you're talking about more, as opposed to The Fall of the House of Usher, which relied on scares
Supernatural.
and
Melted faces screaming into the camera.
melted faces, and then also like, look who we're. Do you guys know who we're talking about? Do you get it? Do you get it? Whereas
Sacklers. It's the Sacklers.
the Diplomat just sort of handled that. We're like, you guys have the setup, right? And we don't have what's his name? The guy who wrote A Few Good Men and The West Wing.
Sorkin.
Aaron Sorkin.
We don't have Sorkin anymore. So like, would you take this instead? Like, is
Dude,
this
this
good
was,
enough?
The Diplomat is 100%. I don't know how real politics works, but I do remember The West Wing, and that show was the bomb. Let's
From
put
the people
together
who
our own
watch The
shit.
West Wing.
That's fucking fine. Put Kerry Russell in any situation. I'm there.
No,
man.
I agree with that. This was my other choice. The Diplomat was my other choice for airport reading, like TV show, but I think it's a good airport read. This is
And-
like
the dumb intrigue of we're fighting about politics and our relationship. Like, is the husband going to be a good wife? All of that. This was TV as TV at its finest.
Mike, the answer is no. And also, not to keep bringing up Alex Garland on every single show that we do, but the Men guy, remember that guy who just kept reproducing himself, is the Prime Minister, and my goodness, what a villain. You think that the husband's going to be the villain. It's Trumborough.
No.
He's the villain.
And he was also in that show. Was this 2 years ago? Years and Years, where
Yeah,
every
dude.
episode jumped 5 years, and he seemed like a normal guy, and then he was super whatever the British version of MAGA is by the end of it. And you're like, oh no, that tracks. Look at his fucking face.
Yeah, he's like kind of the stand-in for Boris Johnson.
Yeah.
In the show, because the show has like it got its own political cast, but there's like one-to-one correspondence. Anytime they're talking about any country or any entity, you're like, oh, I see who they're. Because they're like, okay, they look into the camera and they're like, we're talking about the Russian oligarch who has a private army that just works for him. That's the group we're talking about.
My name is Jonathan Russia, and I drink vodka at a non-stop rate.
But it's still satisfying in that way because it's based on like real politics, even if the names are changed.
And Michael McKean is president. Beautiful
Hell yeah.
cast. I want that.
Hell
He's
yeah.
the, like perfect like bumbling asshole who understands a little more. Like this show loves Biden. It's like, see how savvy he actually is.
Cassie, you've been awfully quiet, and I'm wondering if you had a similar feeling to me, and that I'm not saying The Diplomat was bad, but I found myself at moments bored during and then excited after the show ended. Like bored a little bit while watching and then excited once I finished it. Were you in a similar
So
place or?
Yeah, you're probably more like a normal person watching it. This obviously just wasn't made for me, so I'm not going to shit on it because it seemed fine. It just didn't have like, if you're into politics stuff, like again, like if you were into West Wing, like this is fine. This is.
But Cassie, did this remind you of like when I was 12 and had to go to bed. This is my parents were watching in primetime. This is
my
ABC,
parents
NBC.
watched-
Yeah, dude,
shit.
this is 100%.
My parents watched Bones or the Desperate Housewives.
young.
So
Dude, this
Holy
is
shit! I'm gonna
this
fucking
is-
barf.
This is Bones with diplomats.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like this really is just like people imagine what it might be like. They have no like firsthand experience.
And then injecting sexual tension where there never would be. Oh, like the foreign secretary of London and the fucking American ambassador to England would day 2 of meeting be like, maybe we should probably fuck.
Yeah,
sure,
dude.
okay. Throw away your careers, idiots.
The
Although I
first
have
thing
to
they
say,
do.
her healthy sexual appetite and the way that the show just treats it as like a fact that
Yeah.
she's like a sexual person.
Not
I
just
really like
appetite
that
for
about
sex,
it.
but also for liquor. She gets fucked up all the time.
She drinks basically nonstop. She drinks like a TV character, where like like every scene she's got a different drink.
And everybody's like, "Hey, did you eat something?" And she's like, "No, I will never eat anything. I am the future vice president." And then she comes into work the next day, hair haggard, like there's birds' nests in it. It's
And one of the sexiest / most intimate moments of any show this year is her being like, hey, do I smell? And her soon-to-be ex-husband just sniffing her. Huh, hot, guys. That shit is hot.
Can we talk about the soon-to-be ex-husband?
Sure.
Yes,
Is he the worst person we've ever seen on television?
As an actor?
he's
No, he's-
uniquely bad. That's what I like about him is
Amazing
that, like,
performance.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I was like,
like-
what are you talking about?
we've never seen exactly this type of bad husband on TV before, I don't think, which is like he doesn't fool around on her much, really. But he like can't stop grabbing the spotlight. He can't stop like making his own power plays. He like acts instinctually instead of like waiting to see what she wants to do. And then he tries to like put those to bed, but he like can't seem to quell those instincts. And I found that very interesting.
It's like almost every action he does, he's always trying to help himself, but he's also sometimes trying to help her, but everything's going to harm everything she's trying to do inadvertently, whether he's intentionally doing it or, you know, absolutely trying to do the opposite. Very,
He's
very
insanely
interesting.
narcissistic. So no matter what he does, when he thinks that he is helping, he is not because he can't. He's like
Incapable.
psychologically can't do it.
And I mean, I do think that there is like a certain. I feel like the people that made this show maybe don't know exactly how politics really work, but they do follow the news very closely. And a common thing now in news is like what it's like to have two people in a relationship and they're both kind of politically important. Like maybe one is a Supreme Court justice and the other is actively
A January
engaged in
6th
trying to overthrow
ringleader.
the results of a duly elected
just say.
official. Let's just say. And so I think that a lot of times you do get a couple they're both heavily engaged in politics.
Very true. We've talked quite a bit about The Diplomat. The Fall of the House of Usher. It's got kind of core
Yes.
elements. I know, Greg, you were a little afraid to watch this one.
I was like, guys, I'm a little freaked out by the show, and everybody encouraged me, hey, listen, it's not that scary. Just see it out. Just try to see how much of the show you can watch. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. And I just want to say to everybody, thank you so much for encouraging me. For every screaming bloody face right in the camera, thank you. For a whole party of naked people trying to have an orgy, but then it said they get melted with sealing acid, thank you. I really appreciate everything everybody
Number one,
said.
we're all proud of Greg. Number
so
two,
proud.
because Greg would rather watch a scary show than not have watched all of the shows we need.
I gotta
for
get
this
the
bracket.
X's on the thing, dude.
But also, Scavenger's Reign was so much more scary.
yes.
Oh, yeah. There's
Then
like
Fall of the
no
House of Usher.
tension in Fall of the House of Usher that makes... Sure, there's every once in a while there's a gory image, but there's nothing like, oh, what's going to happen? Because you're like,
Yeah.
well, all these people die. Then the whole show kind of tells you how they're going to die, and then they die the way the show told you the whole time they're going to die.
I'm so sorry, Mike. Is Mike Flanagan Ryan Murphy minus? Because I think this is the only one I've watched, and I have to. That's all I can say.
I'm a Mike Flanagan fan since Hush is probably the best thing he's ever done. And then huge fan of Haunting of Hill House. Bly Manor I think was cool. Midnight Mass had cool moments. I do think what you're gonna learn about Mike Flanagan is he likes listen. you're gonna have a character look at the camera and monologue for a while to tell you the themes if you don't know what the themes are. I'm the poor man, Sam Elliott.
Is he Sam Elliott?
Poor man's. We couldn't
And-
afford Sam Elliott.
It feels like each. That's not true because Midnight Mass. But his whole thing is like, okay, I like horror, but I like character work. How do I blend those? And each show he like calibrates how much horror. And I think he does better the more horror there is.
Yes.
And I thought there was so little horror here, but also this is Succession for dummies. And Dope Sick for
For
dummies.
real big dummies, though.
It's-
Like,
Some of these characters are barely a note. This is a little kid learning how to play a piano of a note. What a bummer. And I like so many of these actors. What great battle for Nia Miller, who is in both The Diplomat and Fall of the House of Usher. She is the heart surgeon kid in Fall of the House of Usher, and the Lake Handjob sister in The Diplomat. This actress is great.
This motherfucker went in and fucked the child of Usher.
There's so many charismatic, great actors in other things, and here they're like, oh, I love
I'm a
Rahul Kohli. And he's
stereotype.
like, oh, I should just be that one thing. I'm super into drugs and sex. I guess okay, that's all I'll do.
dude, this game, like, I have not watched this guy's other projects at all, but I watched this one, and it did not give me respect for his game at all. This is a dumb show.
I've only seen
This made me think like
Haunting of Hill House, which I will say, I think because the horror is higher, Mike said it does better. I also wonder, because this tried to focus on all of Edgar Allan Poe, instead of just like, maybe one.
Yeah.
that might have gotten in the way.
It was too much. It was too heavy-handed. It held it back.
It kind of does help where if you're like, well, the plot sucks, so I'm just going to play which Poe story is this episode in the back of your head.
But the names of the episodes are the Poe stories.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't look at those. I didn't realize that. That's hilarious.
And for the Red Mask one, they're like, we're gonna have this mask, and you're like, okay, so I know what's gonna happen. And this one, I guess you kind of know what's going to happen, because I don't think you ever expect there to be ceiling acid.
Yeah,
Is
that's not the first.
a great place. If you have this corrosive acid, is the roof the great place that you want to put it?
No one's gonna
when
look
you
for it
party,
there.
you raise the roof, but I want to fucking burn the roof.
And
Let's fucking do it.
shitty Sam Elliott will even tell you that was a mistake.
Listen, that one's on us.
I don't care about, like, again, we all love, not we all, but like, Succession is great and there's not a likable character in there, right? There's nobody you want to root for. But to have the guy sometimes learn lessons and then unlearn them in the next scene in, like, not a cool nuanced way, but in a we forgot what page we're on right now while we're filming way. This guy is hard to fucking sit through. And I still don't see how Matt Saracen grows up to become Sam Elliott. It does not
Speaking of
track character
bad
wise.
actors, and Cassie, we're gonna get to you in a second. Jesus, calm down. I watched Henry Thomas's E.T. audition, and he was supposed to be the best actor that we've ever had. In this show, he plays a ponytail dad, and yikes! Like this troupe needs some rework.
He's the
I will
eldest
say
boy?
though that yes, he is
I
the
didn't
eldest
even
boy
make that
of this family.
association.
Mark Hamill, though, fucking kills it.
Hell yeah,
he
dude.
is amazing.
With his Joker variant voice.
There's one line delivery that made me laugh my ass off, and it was to Sam Elliott, because he's just like, well, can you turn the audio on? He's like, no. He's like, why? He's like, security cameras don't do that. And just like his deadpan, like, I fucking hate everybody around me.
No, but like he's like, go in, move in. Like
Enhance.
we're watching the security camera, zoom in, enhance. That's not how it works.
All right.
I've seen TV, just enhance.
Cassie, I'm going to give you some final thoughts before we go to a vote. Anything you want to share about Fall of the House of Usher, or even The Diplomat?
I mean, listen, if the Fall of the House of Usher, like, just put it on in the background. No, you're gonna enjoy some dumb TV, and you're gonna be fine. If you want dumb TV to like kind of zone out to and be a little bit spooked, if you happen to catch a jump scare, it's the perfect one to go to. But there's no meat there. There's nothing to really draw you in.
Mm-hmm.
And The Diplomat, if you like politics, apparently they did good at it. They make it fun.
Did bad.
This
but
is
good
the
at bad.
matchup of just put this on in the background, though. This is two shows that neither one of them will benefit from your like full attention.
And I want to point out, like when Greg was bitching about the first battle, like Scavenger's Ring getting kicked out, this is what he was talking about. Like,
Yes.
This was the struggle. All right,
Yeah.
Greg, I'm going to go to you first. What are you voting for? Which background show do you think should move forward as top drama?
I think The Diplomat is a guilty pleasure of mine. I don't think that like it's a good show, but I did enjoy it, and I think I find it comforting to have a Kerry Russell show on, and it's about being in your like mid 40s, and that's basically where I am in my life, and I think I appreciated that part of it because they've got very much the concerns of, you know, mid 40s, early 50s characters, and so I like that as well. So for all those reasons, and perhaps even more, I'm going with The Diplomat.
Sounds great. Cassie, which show are you voting for?
I love acid. I love orgies. Succession for dumb people. The Fall of the House of Usher.
Clip that audio. I love acid. I love orgies.
Also, I love Usher. Like, after that Super Bowl performance.
Love him.
Dude.
Can't stop thinking about him. All right, so that is one for the Fall of the House of Usher and one for The Diplomat. Mike, where are you voting?
Think about the Super Bowl performance, and I'm sorry if I've said this to any of you before. Did you think that, like, clearly he can still dance his ass off, but his voice is not good anymore, right?
It was weak in the beginning. I think he had to like run to go get into place or something because
Yeah.
he seemed out of breath at the beginning of the performance and stronger towards the end of it.
I was just
Well,
like,
I
this
didn't
guy's
watch
insane.
the show, but like, did you guys hear about Alicia Keys right off the bat?
She did have a
Yeah,
voice
she was-
crack
it
right
was
away.
Alicia off Keys? Yeah.
But no, The Diplomat is incredibly superior to The Fall of the House of Usher for background television.
Got to keep that standard there, but it is the superior background show. That has 2 votes. Ryan, will you finish this off? Are you going to create a tie or move The Diplomat forward?
Create a tie. Just
almost-
make it fun.
Yeah, dude, tie it up.
Fuck it.
I'm sorry, what's the score, Mac?
It's 2 for The Diplomat, 1 for the Fall of the House of Usher.
Oh, no, I will not do that. We have spent all this time on the TV drama episode, and we have not mentioned The Americans, a show that everyone should watch, and yet no one actually has. And on that show, Kerry Russell was amazing. I do think that she is differently amazing in this. The Diplomat, she definitely carries it. There is some... It's so boring for so long, and then in the very last episode, can I? May
Yeah,
I?
dude.
Yeah.
She says, wait, hold on. The British PM ordered the hit on his own thing. And then I was like, yes, show.
Shows,
That's what
shows.
you should have been the entire time, but with Kerry Russell.
The entire show is just people taking cell phone calls in like wainscoted paneled rooms, and then all of a sudden, right at the end, it's like, oh, and by the way, the British PM is the bad guy. See you next season. We just got picked up.
That's the writer, the creator. Remembered they also wrote for Homeland, and they're like, wait, we should throw a dash of crazy in here.
Yes, dude, totally.
More
Or,
of
like,
that would have
we
made
don't-
it not a background show, though.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
It should have been a little bit more twisted like that. But like the Fall of House of Usher was like, it's so watchable. And I kept clicking to the next thing. But like they kept saying like the ghost of the show, if we're just spoiling, Carla Gugino would be
Verna.
like, she would be like, oh, and then we let another redheaded fat person do a lot of damage. And then Mark Hamill will be like, oh, when is that person supposed to like go down? And she's like, it's soon. It was so fucking liberal, and I'm tired of liberals, guys. Like, I couldn't take it. It is absolutely The Diplomat. That is the close folding show of the year.
I gotta say, and I hope I speak for the audience, Ryan, I agree with the sentiment of what you just said. Fucking no idea the gibberish you just said about Fall of the House of Usher. That was nonsense.
Did I sound too much like Mark Hamill? I'm sorry.
Yeah. That
You
was the problem.
channeled too much Mark Hamill. That concludes this first bracket, and The Diplomat will be moving forward despite its background energy. It will be a contender for top drama. When we come back, we will see our next round, and moving forward, we have Succession, Blue Eye Samurai, Poker Face, and The Diplomat. We are back, and we are ready to see our next round, which will have our number 1 seed Succession still hanging on, going up against our number 13 seed Blue Eye Samurai. Did any of us see this coming? Greg, I feel like you are always a champion of animated shows on either comedy
Yes.
or drama. You probably could have predicted this, right?
I once the thing I talked about in the earlier round where my wife was like, keep the show for me. I want to watch it. That's when I was like, oh wait, hang on, this is like bigger than the average show, and so I'm not super surprised by this matchup. I guess I would be a little surprised if Blue Eye Samurai was able to move past this round, just because Succession, I don't know, I think when we look back on it, it's going to stand out among most shows of this time. It's so good. But Blue Eye Samurai was the biggest surprise of the year for me, and probably one of the most fun events. Like, people texting me that never watch anything animated, and they were into it. And it just felt like, I don't know, kind of like a little bit of an event right at the end of the year.
Or your wife, if she was walking past and you were just on Crunchyroll, just watching something at random, she would not have stopped, right?
No, definitely not. Like, I mean, it would, like, make her less interested, because she would be like, oh, it's animated. I'm not into that much. But there is something, just every frame of this is, like, so beautiful and carefully, rendered, that I think it's very arresting. And so people want to see what's going on.
And CGI and cell, it's a good mix.
Yeah.
I like the mix.
We learned this with Jurassic Park. CGI and something makes it good.
Yes, not
Don't
just
just
CGI.
make noodle bullshit.
This is a absolutely brilliant show, but it is going up against arguably probably the most perfect series we've seen in drama for a while. Not even just seasons.
And this season they did so many interesting things. The death of Logan Roy was like an iconic episode. The last
way it
episode
dragged
completely the last episode, the way it completely nailed everything. I think it was a very, very strong exit for a super strong show.
All right. Mike, Ryan, Cassie, do any of you have any final thoughts to express about Succession or Blue Eye Samurai before we go to a vote?
Cassie?
Nah, I'm cool to vote. It's crazy Blue Eye Samurai's here.
Well, I've been wondering, Cassie, because so you hate rich white people, and even if somebody makes a great show about them, you're like, nah, it sucks.
Yeah.
But you also hate gorgeous, intricate, drawn Blue Eye Samurai. So is this really hard for you?
I'm a complicated person. I'm a complicated.
I hate lots of stuff.
Hate a lot
I
of
just
things.
hate too many things here.
And Cassie, at the end of Blue Eye Samurai, was it weird to watch a fat, redheaded piece of shit lead a group of people into like the Capitol?
Yeah,
Or
it's
the
a little
Shogun-
hard to watch that.
Was that it was rough.
Here come the white people, everybody. Good news.
All right. We know where Cassie's going to vote. Mike, any final thoughts on either of these shows?
I think for a 13th seed that doesn't belong here, any other, I think in a non-Succession season, Blue Eyed Samurai could fucking win. But Succession is the buzzsaw, and it's so hard to end a show gracefully, and they did it. There was not a dip. This show rules. And to do, because we were talking about Sorkin, to do an updated, like, here's characters who talk very fast and very arch, and it does not feel like Sorkin or a take on Sorkin. Thank you. Thank you for giving us that, because there's more than fucking Sorkin to rip off writers.
Rip
Just
off
a tip.
other artists. Yeah.
All right, Ryan, I'm going to turn to you for the first official vote of this round, but you can also express any thoughts you have.
Thank you, Mac. This should be the finals, but it is
Yeah.
Succession.
This is the finals, right? The winner of this is going to be the overall winner.
It's going to be the overall winner. Yep. All right, Greg.
One thing about Succession that the show is so incredible, but sometimes just like stop and think about like the last minute of the show and dissect some of the lines, because like they are so brilliant and so really complex actually. And because everybody in the show is like a moron, but they're hyper educated morons. So they have such an interesting way with words. Like they make profanity sing, and you could basically just stop and listen to like every couple lines and just like enjoy how intricate the language is. And it comes at you so fast, it's easy to miss that. Congratulations, Blue Eye Samurai. We love you, but Succession was just like doing something a little bit different this year.
And based on Succession not being around next year, Blue Eye Samurai, if you come out next year, you will
got a chance.
win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mike, another vote for Succession?
Another vote for, and I'm glad Greg pointed out the dialogue, because I also think the people who write Succession know fucking nothing about business, just like the people who write The Diplomat know nothing about politics. But the how sharp the writing is a magic trick. So they distract you with the flowery profanity, so you don't realize. No, they don't know how companies work in any way, shape, or form, and that's fine.
Arguably, though, they're following the children of people who started these companies, so they also don't need to know because children of kids who started companies don't know shit.
I think you just take the IPO to 450. I think that's just all you
That's
do.
just all
I
you
think
do.
it's pretty
Should I do that
easy.
right now? I'm gonna
I
grab my
go
mouse.
up to the right.
There's
All
also that
right.
thing about The Godfather when that came out and Pulp Fiction when that came out that literal criminals started talking like them because the movies legitimized how criminals should talk. And I bet there are business people with ties and briefcases that are like they now talk more like Roys than they ever did.
So are we trying to fuck? What? Just sign the contract. What are you talking about? I'm gonna get HR in here.
Okay, Cassie, finish it off. We know where you're voting, but I still have to do the courtesy ask.
Blue eye. No, just kidding.
Uh.
Succession.
And that will make Succession move forward. We are entering our last battle of this bracket, and that is Poker Face up against The Diplomat. Two shows doing a lot. Mike, what are your thoughts?
Let's hear it for these shows giving like
TV,
curly-haired, wavy
TV.
women a
Yes.
space, and just like TBS TV. Love it. Watch The Diplomat. It fits in my heart, but it's Poker Face.
All right, Ryan.
Yeah, The Diplomat is super boring all of the time. And I think that like Carrie Russell cannot rise above it, whereas Natasha Lyonne can really just like take control of literally any script she's given. I'm sorry, Mac, that you hate her. And
My
wish she
mind
was dead.
tricks me. I fucking love her, but I convince myself that I just won't enjoy the show, and then I start watching it, and I don't want to accomplish anything else. Self-sabotage. We
point
all
out-
do it.
I never do. Can I point out something real quick? In 1999, American Pie came out. 2 years after that, 2001, Natasha Lyonne was the lowest rated, like on the star list of that. Like she was never going to be anything. Now she is at the tippy top, and
Along with
name
Stifler's
another
mom.
person from American Pie. She did it, guys.
She did it. Is that a vote for Poker Face?
Yeah, it's Poker Face.
Okay, Greg, where are you voting?
The Diplomat was I felt like I had like a guilty pleasure. I wish it had known if it wanted to be a realistic show or kind of like a bombastic
Corny.
Homeland style
Yeah.
show, because I think to like give us like 8 episodes where it is one type of show and then at the last second be like, actually this is kind of over the top and nutty. It was like, oh, that's cool, but I was like kind of doing something different here. I still liked it. I have to say I definitely enjoyed it. But Poker Face, I don't know. It was so fresh and so interesting and a perfect project for Natasha Lyonne. So I'm going to go with Poker Face.
And Cassie, we have 3 votes for Poker Face. What are you doing?
It's gonna be a sweep. Poker Face is so delightful. I absolutely love it. Yeah, sweep this round.
Well deserved. Poker Face moves forward into our final bracket and final battle. I think it's pretty clear what direction we're going to head in, so I'm not going to ask us to take a break. I think we can just power through.
We can do it, Books.
Clearly move on. So, Cassie, I'm going to start with you. You ended our last battle. Succession, our number 1 seed, going up against our number 3 seed, Poker Face. Where are you voting?
This, I will be alone. I will stand on my own island over here. I know it's not. I know they're not at the same caliber. I know Poker Face had dips. I just enjoyed it so much more. I think it's maybe my lack of not being able to be on the comedy show. Like, I just need my little bit. But Succession obviously does have its humorous moments. It just, there are moments where I can zone out on it. Like, I could use Succession a little shorter and I think I'd be there, but I get it. I finally get it now. I see why people are into it. And that's a big W for everyone to hear that.
It really is.
I see its merit. I might go back. It's just I need to like really dig in. But Poker Face is just fully what I'm about. So I will stand on my own island over here for Poker Face.
Cassie, can I ask you real quick? Is this in the wrong bracket?
It feels like it, but I fully enjoyed that it's over here because again, it gave me-
Comedy supremacy extended all the way into the finals of the drama bracket. The two shows that are basically comedies are going for the number one drama.
These are the two funniest shows of the year, for sure.
They are, and they're also the two shows that even though they hover around an hour, I don't feel like you feel like you're watching an hour of television while watching
I have to agree
these
with
shows.
that. Yeah,
That's
for sure.
absolutely not there. That is one vote for Poker Face, which, Cassie, I know you thought you were going to get crap for. I think it's well earned. I think Poker Face is doing a lot of great things. I don't think it's going to take the the whole thing, but I think there's a fairness to vote. Mike, which are you voting for?
I love Poker Face. It's Succession by miles.
Greg.
Yeah, Poker Face, it's so cool that it made it this far, but this is the slammiest of all D's for Succession.
All right, and Ryan.
I love how you had to look down at your paper to remember my name. That was
Who's
Yes.
next? This guy.
I feel bad doing Chalk, like we did the Bear best comedy, right? And now Succession is best drama, but like it was just that year. Like I feel like these two shows towered over. I want to say Reservation Dogs and Barry, they were close, but no other dramas. It was really just those four and Beef, another comedy. Those were the five that owned the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a year for comedy, definitely, but I do think Succession is rightly placed in the drama category, and that is a very good thing. I'm not sure what would have won or if we would have been satisfied with the winner had it not been here with Poker Face. Succession is our top drama of 2023. Woo-hoo! We did it. We had to suffer and go through a lot of garbage.
A lot of bad shows. A lot of bad eppies. Yeah.
I legit think, can we do this now because the show's over?
Yeah.
If Cassie had barely pulled out her sword for Blue Eye Samurai, I think that could have been the drama of the year. I really do.
I think you said it, Ryan. It has to be the odds-on favorite going into next year. If they can get that second season, released next year, it's the one to beat.
Has anybody watched True Detective?
No,
I
heard
haven't.
It's back, like season 1 back, but who knows if that's true.
That's the first. That's what I heard too at first, Mike. And then like 3 or 4 episodes into it, it seemed like it changed to no, it's back to being shit again.
I think that the dumbest thing I've heard, somebody's like, it has real Silence of the Lambs vibe. I was like, oh, does it? Because Jodie Foster's a detective, does have Silence of the Lambs vibes.
And then the other one, if we can
did
keep
you see a
previewing
different
next
type of
year,
lemon?
Is Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see what that's like.
I've
now
seen a
now
lot
we're
of-
free. We're free to just
I'm
watch
so
whatever we
fucking
want,
stoked.
basically.
Hey guys,
What
I
a
promise
feeling.
I'll finally watch. What is that show? Reacher? What's the big blonde guy who beats people up in different towns that you say I'm the guy?
The Big Boy Reacher.
The Big Boy Reacher. I'll start watching it just
Yeah.
for you guys. I'll report back soon.
I think you'll like it. He larges his way out of every problem that he faces.
And we're all gonna watch Slow Horses, right?
Dude, I'm starting my old man Apple TV run here for All Mankind, Slow Horses. It's all dad programming for this guy.
Cassie, what are you watching in preparation for next year?
Bat Wheels.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
X-Men 97?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
You are ready.
Cobra
I think
Kai
you're gonna,
does come back this summer. Sorry, Mac.
I was just going to continue on. I think Cassie's going to be the most prepped for drama of 2024, but we'll find out next year. You'll have to wait for that. But what you will not have to wait long for is next week's show. They are closing out all of our battles by figuring out what the best movie of 2023 is.
The movies.
The movies. Basically, the artiest of art, Greg, would you say?
Yes. King of our mountain, I think, is the movies for sure.
King Art. That's what I call movies. King
Yeah,
Art.
dude.
King of art. That will be...
Mac and Cassie, it's not too late. You guys can jump on that show.
Oh, so kind.
yeah.
You can watch 8
Oh,
movies in the next 6 days, right?
So nice.
That's
Isn't one
that's
of them
how
like
movies
4
are meant to
fucking
be
hours?
enjoyed.
I have 3 movies about genocide to watch in the next couple of days. So I'm going to have a good week.
I'll let that be your week. It just can't be mine.
That sounds like a project for you alone and our listeners to enjoy your thoughts on your genocide leaning movies. But this has been a drama of the year 2023. Ryan, can you give us some websites that our listeners might want to check out?
Of course. Popfilter.co is our headquarters. That's where everybody should go for all the stuff that we do. popfilter.co/Amazon. Go there and make that your bookmark for all future Amazon purposes.
Those are our websites. Cassie, social media.
Instagram, you're gonna look at your pop filter, and that's, you give it a follow, you're gonna get some good content.
Cassie, don't you host one of the shows under this umbrella?
Yeah, I thought I was gonna get that one. I never pay attention to Instagram. It's not on you books. It was on me that I never pay attention when people do the outro. I refuse. This is on me.
Would you
Sounds
like
Cassie
to answer
just
the
learned
other
about
one?
Instagram.
As you are the host of another show that
There's
people
another
can check
show.
out.
It's called Superhero Show. There'll be some clips on Instagram of it, maybe.
There will be.
There will be.
Should be.
Now I'm going to
I
clip
have
this.
flustered so much, and I'm so sorry.
No, we're chill, we're cool. Superhero Show. We talk about superhero shows. We're just gonna exist with Resident Alien for a hot minute, and also Spider-Man whenever we want. So it's a good time over there. It's just fun and loose. Check it out.
Can I do a quick? This is what like an Instagram reel is of Superhero Show. Just Cassie going like, please stop, and then Mike going, but I love Ryan and I love him so much, and then I'm like, and I love Mike, and Cassie's like, fucking my headache is so it hurts so bad. Superhero Show.
So
That's
go
perfect
check it
capture.
out. Superhero Show.
All right. And Mike, if anyone wants to contact to get a hold of you guys, how would they do that?
Yeah, if you think we were too cruel to follow the House of Usher or Murder at the End of the World or other TV shows with long titles, and you think we got it wrong with the Drama of the Year or any of the other shows, you should email us at contact@popfilter.co, and we will respectfully tell you how wrong you are in a future
Especially
show.
the Murder at the End of the World. If you think we got that wrong, please do tell us.
Fucking
Yeah.
use
We'd love
all
to say
your
fuck
words.
off.
We want to hear about that one in particular.
All right. Thank you. We really do want your emails, even if we don't agree with them. So send them our way.
And hey, great job, Mac. You did such a good job hosting.
You
Let
really
me just say
did.
that.
I
You
can
brought it
never
home.
tell if Ryan's being genuine or sarcastic
Nobody
as
can.
hell.
It's a secret.
I just won't read too much into that, but thank you. I'm going to take it as a compliment. Thank you so much. It has been delightful to host. This has been Drama of the Year. For Ryan, I'm Mike. For Cassie, do we end that show this way? I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, do it.
Yes,
Yes, just do it.
For Mike, I'm Cassie. For Greg, I'm Ryan. For Ryan, I'm Brooks. And this has been Drama of the Year.